have started confiscating styrofoam from, major dealers, major suppliers, and all of that. But
SUP is single-use plastic. That is what the government is kicking against. When you're talking about reheating and others, you're going to be imbibing different chemicals into your body. So
in 2024, we hope that at least by 25%, we would have reduced the use of styrofoam. And hopefully by 2027, we would have eradicated it from our society. You know why? It's because there's a lot that go into the production also.
Yeah.
You must also understand the society that you reside in. It's a third world country, it's a developing country. But most importantly, there must be proper enforcement. And does it spell out how you're going to go about eradicating the problem? This is what we want to do, and we must do it. And most importantly, you must be consistent in your enforcement.
it's funny how we just hum along to this.
It's catchy. It's catchy, and the first time you get the hook, and then it's just playing in your head. You know that if I'm at home, sometimes I just whomever came up with this genius. Well, we are in the hour of 4 o'clock, and in this hour it is inside Lagos.
Yes,
it means everything that is happening inside this Lagos. So sometime last year, I know there was this whole conversation about that they banned styrofoam because of how much damage it is causing to our drainages, to our gutters, our canals. They are all filled and packed.
And
with
generally
this
trying to
styrofoam.
encourage a greener Lagos.
Yes,
at
a
least.
cleaner and a greener Lagos.
Yeah.
And the conversation has been ban this, introduce other options. There are reusable plastics that you can use. You take it, you buy your food, you buy whatever you need to buy in it. You go home, you use it, you wash it. When you want to buy another one, you take it there. Or you get the plastic. You can still use it at home for every other to store food in the
Recycling.
fridge. Yes. So how about we go with that option in full, and we eradicate it has been a lot of hula baloo, back and forth. It worked for a while, and then it stops, just like every other thing. But now they're saying, you know what, we want to enforce it
Beginning tomorrow.
yes. So do you think this is gonna work again, or it's just gonna be a repeat of, we're gonna work for a while, and then after a while it goes back to
So the thing with Nigeria, I've realized this: when you put something in place, it's important to ensure that you enforce it. Sometimes people tend to just respect the law for a short period of time, and then everything goes back to business as usual, simply because those in charge aren't putting their foot down as they ought to. And so you see, for example, this issue of the single-use plastics. Many people don't even know that the bowls they are buying is SUP. So it's very easy. When you want to buy bowls, just flip it. Check the underside. You will see SUP. SUP is banned. SUP means single-use plastic. SUP. So when you see it on any bowl you have, it means that even if you're reheating food with it, even if you're doing stuff with it, it's actually harmful. Because it's not supposed to be reused that way. Do you understand? You can use it maybe for storage, but when you're talking about reheating and others, you're going to be imbibing different chemicals into your body. So SUP is single-use plastic. That is what the government is kicking against, because there were a lot of there was confusion, gray areas about which one is even the plastic we are supposed to be using. There are some restaurants you go to, you can tell the quality of the plastic is something you can use over and over again. If the plastic looks light, just flip it and check. You will definitely see SUP if it's not supposed to be used again for multiple times. Okay.
So the Ministry of Environment, Lagos State Ministry of Environment and Water Resources have started confiscating styrofoam from major dealers, major suppliers, and all of that. But then there's been this outcry. When we come back from this break, we'll continue on this topic, and then we'll read the conversation from the market. Every other enforcement or law or rules in Nigeria, at some point people just start slacking back and start doing what going back to how it was before. But now the conversation is, this time around, what is different? What's the measures that is being taken to make sure that 2024 first ban doesn't repeat itself again, the lapse in the first ban?
I think it's the approach to resolving the problem. it's important to note that these things will not happen overnight. It would happen if you adopt a phase by phase approach. Like, for example, you tell yourself that in 2014 or in 2024, we hope that at least by 25% we would have reduced the use of styrofoams, for example.
I know I haven't used them in a very long time, so I want to believe I represent about that 25%.
Exactly. And that by 2025, we're hopeful that we would have reduced that to 50%. And hopefully by 2027, we would have eradicated it from our society. And you know why? It's because there's a lot that go into the production also.
Yeah.
You must also understand the society that you reside in. It's a third world country, it's a developing country, and to a lot of these people, you know, this is an essential item.
It's accessible.
Yes.
It's affordable.
Yes.
And it's also something that
You have a mama put culture.
Yeah.
And this mama put is, purchasing food items on the go, edible food items on the go. And for a lot of these people, this is what they use in collecting them.
Yeah.
I also recall, that there was a lot of talk about banning the use of cellophane bags. And sometimes when you go into the store, they even sell the bags to you.
Yes, 50 naira,
Yes.
100 naira,
Yes.
200 naira.
Yes. So it's important that you understand the society in which you live in and how you want to eradicate. But most importantly, there must be proper enforcement. And that is where it is always lacking. There's a lot of talk about this is what we hope to do. The plan is not comprehensive, doesn't accommodate everyone that is involved, and doesn't spell out how you're going to go about eradicating the problem. But it is just, this is what we want to do and we must do it. But you end up running into further problems after 6 months, 1 year. People just go back and say, we have released nothing. I do not believe that there is any society where if you want to implement a policy, the possibility of that policy attaining a 100% success rate is practically non-existent. I don't believe. But you must plan, you must prepare, you must anticipate all of the challenges that you'll be faced with. And most importantly, you must be consistent in your enforcement.
And then you need to also educate the people. There's something I've realized about Nigerians. If they understand the why. It will be difficult for you to get them to be involved in it. Like, if they understand the why, recent trends have actually proven that to be true. As long as Nigerians understand it, that's already half of the problem solved regarding getting them around.
Okay, so there was a conversation, there was an interview with Mr. Lukman Ajayi. I think he's the commissioner for environment and stuff in Lagos. He had an interview and he talked about the fact that enforcement had never stopped. He never stopped. They never stopped enforcing all these rules. But I think there was a slack somewhere. And then he went ahead to say now, from the 1st of July, being tomorrow, that a proper enforcement would be made, in the sense that whoever is caught using the styrofoam to sell to people, or buying and selling the styrofoam, would go through 6 months imprisonment.
Wow.
Or will pay a fine of 250,000 naira. Do you think that is a good step to take?
So the thing is,
too much?
when you're trying to enforce something, you might be forced to take serious measures, like dire measures. This is one of it. Unfortunately, there's some people that have these styrofoams at home. They stopped using them as soon as the ban happened last year. They have them at home. I know this for a fact. So if somebody is willing to take the chance that, okay, because I've been educated that this is cancerous and then it's harmful to the environment and all of that, I've decided that, you know what, I don't want to use this anymore, and then you just wash your hands off it. But in a situation in which you are aware, you've been properly educated about it, and you still choose to use it, then it's unfortunate. And the thing with law is ignorance is not an excuse
At all.
That's the thing with the law. So you cannot say, oh, I didn't know that we were not supposed. It does not apply to the law. That's the unfortunate part.
What do you think, husband material? Do you think this is a necessary fine or a necessary, punishment for those that break this rule? We're gonna have your reply when we come back for this break. or you pay a fine of 250,000 naira.
So beyond lip service, enforcement is essentially following through with your plans on the one hand, and ensuring that people who do not comply with your directive, face the wrath of the law.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we live in a society where there's a lot of it's because of this thing that you want to
collect 250,000 or put me for sale for 6 months.
In this country where there is no, but this is a major problem because, if you go just drive, once you're around Obalin, they just look into the drainage and you would see collection of different colors.
Yeah.
Pink, neon green, yellow, and the likes.
And neon green.
It's neon green now, yellow, all of them like that, blue, creating problems. And just, so we cannot keep going around in circles. It's important that we find a lasting solution to this problem. And I would want to believe that, having looked at how things have played out since 2024 up until this time, the enforcers have gone through all the challenges and they have come up with measures that would ensure that this time around the implementation is total, and hopefully it will become a thing of the past.
Some people will bring the angle of, the government is not thinking of the fact that some people are feeding with this is their source of livelihood. I dare say, this is me playing the devil's advocate now. The government gave you enough time to dispose of it.
Yeah.
The government gave you enough time to say, you know what, I'm done with this business. Look for something else that you can invest in. The government gave enough time for you to even sensitize your customers. I see this thing. No, I don't sell them again. No, let's know that it's not good.
Yeah.
There was plenty
but also
of
look
time.
at where they're coming from. So in this case, let's say you have a container load of styrofoam coming in before this law is enforced. It comes in, nobody's gonna buy it.
So,
Because everybody is also trying not to use that and not to buy that and not to, So how do you get rid of what you already have? Are you gonna sell? Is something gonna be done?
if you're a business,
In terms of remuneration, so dispose of it, burn it, and then would compensate you with XYZ to help you, start plastic.
so the problem with governments compensating such is that how many such businesses can governments compensate? There are so many things that are being banned. Even before these things became all over the place, the reality is they weren't even supposed to be used in the first instance.
Yeah.
Back then, the only reason most of us had to use it was because they will tell you, normal plastic, no, they buy this one now, you don't have a choice. Well, now those places are getting proper plastics. So that's it, sensitization and understanding what the policy means.
Okay, thank you so much. The voice of the street.